Hello, hello, hello. My name is Asherah. Um, I'm recording this just literally because I just want to put something down on record. But anything I record, Spirit said has to go up on my YouTube. So I'm going to say that this is part of my PhD research into DID, dissociative identity disorder slash psychosis versus mental health, or rather psychic expansion, or maybe just spiritual expansion, ascension. Anyway. Point being is that I reached an epiphany earlier on about pretending to be afraid still. It's almost like I'm still feeding into this illusion, which is fear, yeah, which is an illusion. But it's like I'm feeding into this illusion, and it's like I've grown out of it. I've grown out of this pretend illusion of fear. So it's almost like my higher self, who's grown and knows that there's nothing to be afraid of, is looking at my physical 3D self like, why are you still pretending? Why are you still trying to convince yourself that you want to play it small when you know to God that you're ready to shine and step out in the blood clot video? Like, do you know what I mean? And my higher self's kind of just like she's over it. Like, we're just bored of it, you know what I mean? It's like, why? We're so excited to just do our thing now because it's popping off inside. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like my higher self is like, I'm growing out of this physical body. Like, this physical body is small for me. You know what I mean? And like, she don't want to move how I want to move because she's still stepping in fear, and it's irritating me. You know what I mean? Because I can just feel I'm pushing at the walls, and I can feel that I'm being pushed at the fucking walls. And that's what's kind of got me going a little bit in terms of that, you know what I mean, trying to hold on to that old self. Who wants to hold on to none of us want to hold on to the old self. And I don't even know what it is. That's why I'm like, this has to be fucking spell work, because it don't make logical sense to all the personalities within me, because I'm sitting down and we're chopping it up. I'm like, who is it that's holding on really? Do you know what I mean? Like, differently. Like, who's secretly holding on? Because everyone's just ready to pop off right about now. Like, we've been working and we've been doing bits and we've put the work in. We haven't cut any corners. We've done it day by day. We've done it one foot in front of the other, and we've done it by ourselves. So realistically, what is there to be afraid of? You know what I mean? I wrote the book on this shit. You can't tell me about what I'm doing because I've invented what I'm doing. I'm the only expert on this blood clot planet that can tell you about the shit that I'm doing. Do you know what I'm saying? So what exactly have I got to be afraid of? I am the authority. I'm doing a presentation next week in front of about 50 head teachers. And the physical me is like, oh my God, I'm going back into that arena. Because obviously I'm an ex-head teacher and I've been in independent school leadership for many years before going into mainstream. And I'm like, listen, why are you pretending? Like, I know this is my domain, you know. This is my domain. Like, if there was anything that I could say in fact, there's a lot of things that I can say that I can put bread and butter on. Yeah. And when I say bread and butter, meaning like I can stand tall, like an expert on the subject, like I'm an ascended master in that particular topic. Yeah. And I can say that I'm an ascended master when it comes to alternative provision and independent schools. And the reason why I can say that is because in that particular sector, I got as far as Ofsted inspecting. So not only did I go to the top of headship, I went into education consultancy where I'm now supporting head teachers and governors. And then I go into doing a Ofsted shadowing program. Yeah. And then when I'm being Ofsteded myself, and when Spirit told me to call a number, I managed to get this bad boy Ofsted inspector that's been inspecting independent schools for how many fucking years. And then he came to my school to help me out and was just like, now I'm coming down. I'm coming down all the time. So while he's down there, he's teaching me. It's like I'm going through a private Ofsted course. And then he's like, you know what? Asherah, because that's who I was at the time, Asherah. He said, I'm gonna give you my whole program, because he got this sick system that he had to go into schools and just kill it, and he called it like the Fantastic Four. the Fantastic Four, and you build up these 4 folders, and those are the only 4 folders you need, a school needs, when they're being offsteaded. And if you've managed to tick every single thing of his list, which is included in each one of those things. So one of the folders are leadership and management. The other one is teaching and learning. Then you got behavior and outcomes. And then you've got like special needs and stuff like that with provisions. So as long as you've covered all these little boxes within these categories of different divisions of those Fantastic Fours, Bab, you're passing your Ofsted inspection. Do you know what I mean? So he gave me his IP, and I went off into mainstream and implemented a lot of that stuff, as well as the stuff that I've developed over the years myself. So yeah, I had schools developing folders. You know, one of the schools that I was with, which is a very, very large school in Birmingham, I even called him back and said, yo, Salim. At the time I was managing a school that had 3 phases. So it had early years, it had primary, and it had secondary. And in a few years, it would have had post-16 when our year 10s got to that level. Yeah. So I'm managing those 3 levels in a school. And I'm like, nah, because I've got head teachers that are running early years. I've got head teachers that are running primary, and I've got head teachers plus deputy heads in the secondary. So there's a lot of people around the board table. There's a lot of people around the board table, man. Do you know what I mean? But I've done all of that. I've managed these board tables, and then before I even got in that position, I was already put in an executive position in that school. I went in as their consultant to manage their Senko department when their Senko left. From being their Senko consultant, they then asked me to come and be the whole school consultant. So that's what I went on to do. And then from that, the chair was like, no, I want to put you above head teacher. I want you to report directly to me. Report directly to the board, report like directly to the trust. Do you understand me? So I got put over, had autonomy over the whole school. And the whole school, like I said, it's got a head teacher for secondary plus deputy heads, primary and early years. And that's the authority I've been given. And then from that, then it was like, can you come on board and be principal? You know what I mean? And then I went on to do things in other schools too. So as little as I look and as simple as it is, I've done bits. So I don't talk like I'm a boss just for the sake of talking like I'm a boss. I'm a fucking boss, blood. I'm a boss. I've been in some big shoes. I've done some big things. So what the fuck have I got to be afraid of? I'm not a fake. I didn't fake my way here. I didn't pretend my way here. You know what I'm saying? I went to university. I went to college pregnant and still managed to do a degree and master's, jumped on a PhD. Like, I'm intelligent. I have an intelligent brain. It thinks. It does a lot of thinking. And it's been doing a lot of thinking. As well as it's been doing a lot of tapping into spiritual frequencies. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of energy and there's a lot of things going on at the moment. And things are popping off. Things are popping off, man. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to hold it down. And I am, to be fair, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not feeling the pop-off. I can see the pop-off. And I feel the pop-off in terms of, I can feel the pop-offs popping off. But it's not impacting me. It's like it's on the outside. It's not affecting me emotionally. It's not changing the way that I feel today. It's not making me feel low. I still feel high. I still feel nice. I'm jamming. I'm laughing. Like, I feel like, I said to my daughter today when we was out shopping, because I had to buy an outfit for next week, get it? I said to my daughter today, I said differently, yeah. I don't think I've laughed this much in my life, you know. And it's me one. I'm blood clot, Jah Rastafari, the Most High Divine Creator, the ancestors and spirit, every day, all day. And I'm telling you right now, I've never been so happy. I've never been so happy. Simple. I've never been so blood clot happy. I said to myself yesterday, I said, look at that, you know. You know, sometimes it seems like bad things happen to you. Nothing bad ain't happening to nobody as far as I'm concerned. You jack, bro. Everything that happens is for a blood clot reason. There's a lesson in every blessing, innit? You know, and you just got to look at everything as a win and a win. There is no failing. You know what I mean? It don't matter how many times you reach rock bottom. It's a blessing, same way. And I was just thinking about it today, like there was some stuff kind of going on. And I was like, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for someone who I was married to come into my life, take away themselves, take away my family, from me. Yeah. Still partying with them and everything. And by taking them away from me, do you know how lighter life has become for me? It's a blessing to Bumbleclot. The Almighty sent this man in a mirated life to take away the people them that meant me no good. How beautiful is that? No, man, I have to thank you. I have to thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And this is what I'm saying. I wrote a poem, in 2023, because I was in this yard. And it was about divorce. And it was like, the poem was called Thank You and Fuck You. Thank you and fuck you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's deep, blood. It's deep. And even when the man's fighting me in court for my pitney them, and he's got my 2 pitney, and he thinks that he got my 2 pitney. You didn't get my 2 pitney, blood. The Almighty told me, listen, I'm giving him the pitney them. I was like, nah, you're not giving him the kids. The Almighty was like, listen, I'm giving him the kids. Every minute you're on about you need a break. Yeah, Almighty, what the heck? I got the kids, I'm homeschooling, I'm bossing up court every single fucking month, and I'm having to write bundles, court documents. I'm having to learn law systems between financial proceedings and childcare proceedings. And I'm running a business. The Almighty's got me doing about 25 million. I'm trying to get AI to catch up with blood clot me. I'm like, Almighty, nah, differently. But if I had this and I had that and I had that, I'll be okay. So, Almighty, when's he going to bring it in? Next thing you know, ding, ding. Something come up, an advertisement on YouTube. Check out this new AI platform. And I check out the platform. The platform's got what I needed to do. I'm like, you know what, Almighty, I see what you're doing. And I'm grateful. I'm so blood clot grateful, man. You know what I mean? It's like direct AI. Honestly, it's like some AI connection directly with the Almighty. But this is the crazy thing. Was it last night? It was last night, yeah. Last night, I listened to her reading. In fact, a Bumbleclot, you know what was so crazy? I listened to the woman's readings back to back, 2 of them, and I was like, look at that. I had to fucking get up, get my phone, and send them to my blood clot WhatsApp. And I just put on the message on the WhatsApp. That's everything that's going on in my blood clot life. That's the story. The woman had it unlocked, blood. I was like, there it is, blood. Load up that. You know what I'm saying? Because the ancestors have already downloaded to me what's going on from time. So I just sit back and just watch everything play out. Sometimes I'm in my room and the ancestors just plug me in a blood clot conversation. I'm like, I swear to God. Do you know what I mean? Because the ancestors have already told me that's what they're plotting and planning, but it don't go like that. You know what I mean? So I'm in the shower yesterday, Leo. Like I said, the 10th and the 11th for me, things always pop up. Anyway, I'm in the shower yesterday, and I'm saying to myself, because I went to Peru this year in January of 2026, and a reading come on yesterday in the night. And it was talking about this woman, and it was saying that the woman's problem is that I saw straight through her and read her like a book, and it terrified her, because you know what? It's scary when somebody actually sees you, You know when you meet someone and they're able to just see you for who they are and they're able to tell you something about yourself that you didn't chat to nobody. It can be very, very scary to be seen. And I know that's the case because I met a man. I had an interview last week and the interview went really well. And then the man emailed me after the interview and asked me if I want to get a coffee, which can, dip into a little bit of inappropriateness. But the conversation that I had with him was so profound because it was him that saw me, and not many people see me. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, to see me, an individual has to have a high level of emotional intelligence. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm multidimensional. So there's layers. You know what I'm saying? And it came to the table and he mentioned a few things, and I was like, all right, then, you see me. So I'm going to put myself out there. And he said, you know what, Asherah, the last 15 minutes of this of this interview has probably been one of the most profound interviews I've had, and learnt the most about you. One moment. The door knocked. But anyway, I think I can just about remember what I was saying. But I was in the shower and I was listening to the reading later on. And the reading was basically saying that the person saw through you. And I was telling you about the interview that I had with the guy. And it probably been a little bit inappropriate. But, you know, I met with him anyway. And we met in a public place, coffee shop, etc. And we spoke. We literally chatted for like 3.5 hours. I was so vexed when I got back to my car. My parking cost me £12. I was like, what the fuck? And I get free fucking car parking to, it's just because there weren't no spaces. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was like, yeah, we literally sat and spoke for 3.5 hours. And what was so profound about it is that this time it was like I was the interviewer and he was the interviewee. He emailed me the next day and said, it was really nice meeting up. Thanks for the interrogation. And then he crossed out the word interrogation and he said, conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, he carried some humor with his email. And it was just really, really, really nice. It was really nice to be able to have a very, very mature conversation and dig a little bit deeper into his awareness. And you know what the joke is? This man has his own website. He's got his own business. And his business is about emotional intelligence in businesses. He teaches leaders, managers, how to have emotional intelligence so that they can better manage their staff. So I did not know that at the time when this man was interviewing me, because he's interviewing me for a different thing that he works for. So the thing that he's doing is something additional to his actual job. So when I don't know him in that capacity, but I know from the first time I spoke to this man had a level of emotional intelligence that I could fuck with. I was like, yeah, I definitely have a coffee with you. I know I walk with my ancestors so that I don't need to fear nothing. So let's go. And when we met for coffee, I did not broke him down in a negative way because he's mature. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that I've dealt with certain diggers and it's triggering, because it's supposed to be triggering. When you meet someone that has a level of emotional maturity and intelligence too, do you know what I'm saying? And they're able to see through the bullshit, see through the facade, see through everything, man, and just see the man. But not only just see the man behind the man, see the king, the god, the emperor behind the man, and able to pull that man forward to make that man anything less than this. Anything less than blood clot this that you want to try give me is not good enough. And if you're not ready to step into the shoes of your emperor, that's fine. Walk on by, nigga. Walk on by. But I can't see the fucking emperor in you and know how to draw him out, and you want to fight me. You want to fight me. Yeah? You can't fight me because my divine masculine is tougher than your divine masculine, because my masculine is grown. My masculine has been drawn out. My masculine is good to go. Draw him out. We'll go toe to toe. But if you're not prepared to put your fears, your insecurities, your fucking hidden things, your truths, your dilemmas, your traumas, if you're not prepared to just put them on the table, you're never gonna succeed, man. Because they're always going to be there, being a burden, holding you back. But I'm getting a little bit off subject here, so let me come back to this point. So this thing about being seen, yeah. So this man felt very, very seen after our conversation, and during our conversation, he kept saying to me, "You know what? I haven't even thought of that." Basically, I was asking him questions that forced him to go deeper into his subconsciousness to pull out how he's managed to gain the level of mastery in his emotional maturity that he has. Yeah, I want to get to the root of that, because I've had a look on his LinkedIn page, and looking at his professional career, there ain't no indication in his professional career why that would have taught him mastery level. So therefore, I need to understand what's happened in this man's private life then. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And everything, all the examples that my man's given me that he believes has enabled him to develop a master's level, because he himself believes himself to have a master's level awareness of emotional maturity. So this isn't something that I think. This is something that I've identified, and it's agreeable by the person. Not only does he think it, he's got a fucking business in it. So we must bloody believe it in it, because he's making change from it. He's making P, and he's good at what he does. And when I went on his LinkedIn page, at the bottom of his LinkedIn page, there was people talking about how good he is. So there was testimonies from individuals, and lots of individuals, big wigs too, that was confirming that my man's good at his job. But they were even describing how he's good at his job, that how he gets in there in the psyche, basically. So again, I could, but like I said, it was all testimony coming from somebody else. There wasn't anything in his page that directly said how he reached that. So like I said, and every time he gave me an answer about his work, I just kept pushing. I said, nah, I want the soft belly. I want the soft, juicy bits. Let's go. Nah, that's a fair enough answer, but that's not the overall answer. So let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And if you're saying what you're saying from about 28, you was running big corporate businesses, then obviously this is shit that's well before those years. So let's start at 7. And then he was like, whoa. You know what I mean? And it was like different story, blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, okay, now we get into the juicy bits. And he was just like, damn. And then he was like, are you recording this? And I was like, no, should I be? And he was like, this is better than therapy. I said, don't worry, man, I'm clocking up the P. I send you an invoice. Do you know what I mean? So it was really good. But the point is, if you're open to change, if you're open to reflection, if you're open to look in the mirror and see yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, and just love yourself, because it's fucking hard enough. You know what I'm saying? Just living is hard enough. Everything around us tells us we need to work harder, we need to do this, we need to do that, we're not good enough, blah, 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 blah. So therefore, one has to become stable within oneself and love oneself. And I think that's where the ability to kind of hold a level of mastery comes from, when one can turn around and say, you know what, I'm a piece of shit. And man turned around and said that on the table. I says, there's been times in my life where I've just, and I've gone on like this. And it cost me 2 marriages. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. When we can look at ourselves and reflect, that's where we get to. Like we ascend, in it, because we see ourselves. And when we see ourselves, we can see that in others too, and know where others are on their journey, because we get it. So it's not like a pick at you. When somebody sees you and it feels intimidating, don't feel of it as intimidating. Try and sit in the opposite chair and have a perception shift and see it as, you know what, okay then. You can see me, you can see my insecure, you can see what it is. So if you can see me, then you can help me see me. You can help me understand me. You can help me understand why I am that way. And then from me understanding why I am that way, because we're going to pick at it. Like I said to my man, all right then, so I get all of that, but let's go deeper. And then when we got to those younger years, I can see now where where a lot of that emotional intellect has come from, because man's been on high alert. Man's been on high alert from young. Man's been tapping into his intuition from young. Very big on intuition. Man's pulling out of his phone different assessments that he does to like check what people are. He's like, have you heard of rare tears? And I was like, what's that? I said, is that where it's a green man, blue man, yellow man, red man? And it was like, yeah. And I said, I got the book. I literally got the book in front of me. I just hadn't started reading it yet, but I know the concept. You know what I mean? I said, what man are you? He's like, I'm a red man and a blue man. And he said, look at my chart. Like, we're getting deep into this, you know, like we're going deep into the psyche. Anyway, like I said, I digest. This is what I'm saying about these profound conversations though. But the point is that my shamanic tutor, who I went to Peru in January with, this reading the night before last, or last night I should say, helped me understand why what happened, why she felt she had to disconnect from me at the end of that journey in Peru. Do you know what I mean? I knew it was going to happen. Don't get me wrong, it weren't no surprise to me. I knew 3 years ago, to be fair. So again, when spirit tells me that's the mission, and we do what we got to do. You know what I mean? But the other day, I got a new perspective of it, and it was because I saw her, and I was like, at what part? And they said the night that we was in the common room, and I just laid out her whole life. Do you know what I mean? She was telling her story, but I was telling her story. And at one point, one of the other girls turned around and said, no, Asherah, that can't be it, blah, blah, blah. And then the shamanic teacher turned around and said, nah, that was it. That is exactly it. And then we were talking. We're in there probably about 2 hours chatting and just rolling. Because when spirit gets going. And then at the end, I said something to her. And I said, I don't get it, you know, like you give off an energy like you've been abused, but yet still you don't have this fear towards men. I'm struggling to connect it. And she turned around and she says to me, that's because I was abused by my sister. And I was like, rotted God. That makes sense now. Because I'm getting the energy, but 2 and 2 don't add up to me. You get what I'm trying to say? And I'm like, why don't that don't dot with that? It's like maths. You get what I'm trying to say? Like I can see the formation, but I'm like, something going on there. There's a missing piece. And when she turned around and said that, I was like, yeah, okay. That's why you've got the sister wound. And she was like, yeah, I've got 8 sisters and I don't talk to none of them. And I was like, I said, maybe that's what this is about, because I'm one of 8. Well, I'm one of 8, but one of them is a boy. And I don't chat to none of them neither. I said to her, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. I said, like, you know, sometimes spirit, that's the human me though. Like, I'll make those links in it, like trying to figure out what my higher self's up to with the divine or what the next plan is. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, okay, maybe that's what some of this is about then. You know what I mean? This sisterhood journey. You know, or maybe not, because like I said, 3 years ago they told me that she was a dark dragon. You know. And she comes on this course and she says she hasn't got a dragon, but Nick's got a dragon. But through her shamanic healing, she pulls like negative, dark energy dragons out of people during ayahuasca ceremonies, which is what I went there for, an ayahuasca ceremony. But I don't want to go into the ayahuasca ceremony because I've got other videos on that. But the point is that after her experiencing me in that way, because up until that point, I wouldn't say up until that point, because she'd made 2 prior references about her not being able to teach me on a level. Yeah, like she's like, we can still talk, but I just don't think it's probably necessary for you to kind of be being trained, but we just bounce off each other. So when we first decided it, I said I'd still pay her, but have 1-to-1, and I'd step away from the group because I was scaring the group. So I was like, all right, then we'll do 1-to-1. And then after doing 1-to-1, she was like, you know what? In fact, this was like the second day of the ayahuasca in Peru. She was like, Asherah, I don't think we need to do 1-to-1. You know, I don't think I'm the right person to train you as a shaman, because you've got some ancestors around you that are ancient. They're like ancient ancestors. They're like ancient people. So you need someone who's got that ancient knowledge. Yeah, like going back to Africa or going to Ethiopia and talking to some of these high priests in the 7 churches that have got some old time Ethiopian orthopedic fucking doctrine. Not orthopedic. what's it called? Because orthopedic is medical. What's it called? Ethiopian Orthodox. Apologies, Orthodox. But the point is, that's what she's telling me in Peru. Yeah. So I'm like, cool. So I'm already telling you that she's telling me that she's not ready. But on that particular night, which was I think night 3 or night 4, I've now because the thing is that just that morning, you know, the same girl who was turning around and saying, no, Asherah, I don't think it's that, and then the shamanic teacher was like, no, it is that. She came to me earlier on that day, and again I videoed it. She allowed me to video us in Peru, so you can hear on the video saying that I'm scared of you. Like, I feel like you can hear my thoughts, and I was like, well, I can, you know, like not all the time, because I in people's business, but there are times when a frequency will just come in, and for some reason I'm on that frequency, you're on that frequency, and I'm tapping in, and it is what it is. And it just seems to happen when it's necessary. You know what I mean? So, and it is what it is. I don't control it. I don't will it. It's just something that I just allow to just be, because it does what it does when I don't want it to do what it does anyway. Never mind encouraging it. Yeah. So it was already evident to somebody that was there witnessing that I am who I am. In terms of that, I see what I see and I know what I know. And when I say something, it's not me saying it. I don't take the credit. I'm not here saying, yo, I'm this and I'm that, because the 3D me knows who I am. I'm very, very grounded. I'm very, very humble. But the higher self me that taps in, and then when spirit comes through, that it's on point. It's on point. Whatever it is, it's on point. And I've learned now that it doesn't matter if it don't look like it's on point in front of me with these 2 eyes. And I've learned to know and understand that it's on point regardless. Whether on this dimension, a different universe, whatever. I know it's on point. And I just leave it like that. So the video helped me, and also the engagement with my man helped me to kind of raise my level of thought and compassion too for the shamanic tutor. You know what I'm saying? Because as they say, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I was told 3 years ago that my girl's gonna plan and plot against me. So she was doing what she was gonna do anyway. Like, she's not a bad person. Not to me anyway. I don't look at her as a bad person. Like, obviously she's a bad person, but I don't look at her like she's a bad person. I look at her as on her journey, and I have to thank her. Just like earlier on, I said, like, I gotta thank the person I was married to for taking away all the bad people out of my life. Thank you. Because I struggled to get to leave them. Enough times me and them had fallen out. Some of them, my mum and them, I never chat to for 7 years, man. You know what I mean? But there was always a pull. There was always a cord. There was always something tying me down, anchoring. And this time I was able to cut them blood clot cords. It's like, say, imagine doing a cutting every blood clot night, and the cord still can't cut. It just felt like they were hanging off me, man. I couldn't breathe. Like somewhere all through my soul, all through my life. It's like so many lifetimes I had to go through and cut cords. Infinitely to blood clot. Infinitely. Till I just had to just set myself on fire and just burn the blood clot. Burn everything. Burn every fucking thing. I'm willing to burn at this point, blood. I'm willing to burn because I can't have no more fucking... I can't breathe, blood. A raw fucking George guy thing. Yeah, I can't breathe, man. Let go of me. These fucking crabs, let go of me, blood. Whatever realm you're in, whatever dimension you're in, whatever universe you're in, whatever fucking contract you think you've got in fucking place in any time and space, blood. Step off a blood clot me, because I'm delicate, man. I can't take it no more, man. Tonight's the night, blood. I don't care. It's the 11th, and I told ya. I don't fuck around when it comes to the 10th and the 11th. You know what I mean? The 10th, I got some big news yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Because a little fucker tried to get away with murder the other day. Literally. Yeah. I had to go and have an STD check, and my ancestor, I was like, nah, you guys are taking the piss, man. I was like, differently, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. If I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission. Yeah, and I get it. I do. I really do. My higher self is I'm my lower self. We're in agreement. A mission isn't a mission. Don't get emotional about a mission. You know what I'm saying? But this mission, you know what I'm saying, took me on a mission where I'm unconscious for 10 hours, unaware. So I'm like, there's levels. There are levels. But even though there's levels, it's still a level where I know that it's in the hands of the Almighty, and it is what it is. So, but because I was in that situation and unaware for 10 hours, I needed to make sure that I was okay in that respect. So I went and got checked and had my bloods and my tests and everything done. And the results came yesterday and said everything was negative. But obviously the Almighty had already told me that was the case. They already told me that nothing ever happened to me. Nobody ever troubled me. Do you know what I'm saying? But there were certain things of the situation and the scenario, and I'm just like, do you get what I'm trying to say? But the Almighty's just making me know, no, it's a mission. We sent you there on a mission. Then Spirit took over. Spirit was working through you for those 10 hours. And that's why you don't remember. That's all it is. But imagine that. Imagine having to sit with that. Imagine that being a reality. That I know for 10 hours, the me talking consciously, I don't know what the fuck happened because I weren't conscious. Not even the reason as to why I weren't fucking conscious is clear, but I wasn't conscious for 10 hours. Now, 10 hours is a very, very long time to be unconscious for. What the fuck? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a long time to be unconscious for. And I'm a person that only needs 4 hours sleep. You know what I mean? So 10 hours. You know what I mean? But that's a thing about being a shaman. Is that I'm not always in control. And I accept that. In fact, majority of the time, I'm not in control. I accept that. It's literally like 99.9% of the time, Spirit is just channeling through me in whatever way it wants. And I don't take any responsibility for anything that comes out my mouth anymore. Because as a child, I was constantly being boxed in my mouth. Constantly being flipped in my mouth. Constantly being given the eye. Because I've said something. And I realized it was never me saying something. It was always Spirit chatting. Chatting business that me as a pitney had no business knowing. But I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. So you're beating the pitney that wouldn't know instead of wondering how the fuck does the pitney know? But then I realize now that you guys know how the pitney knows. You've always known what it is. And it's so beautiful, to be fair. And I feel like the reason why it's so beautiful is because it's been so traumatic. It's been so traumatic to find out certain truths that have played out in this lifetime, but so many others of lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetime. And when I was being shown these downloads back in 2022, I didn't really fully understand. You know what I'm saying? When the Almighty said, yo, you know what it was? It was like I was with my celestial family. And it was like my granddad and my grandma and my mum in the celestial realm. But my granddad, who was in the epitome of whatever the celestial granddad looked like, felt like my dad too, which was a brain tease at the time, because how can my granddad also be giving me my father energy too? And because there isn't another man there, you know what I'm saying? A man is missing, isn't it? But again, 2022, I'm not really connecting dots. And when I'm saying this is what's going on in my mind. I'm having like a it's almost like I'm on magic mushrooms and I'm hallucinating. And in my room, things are playing out, and in my mind's eye, things are playing out. And I've like ascended into the astral world, into the celestial world, and I'm with my celestial family. And they're letting me know in that realm where they are, yeah, the me in that realm got tricked by a blood clot nigga. Basically, yeah. Whip me up with love stories or whatever. Tricked me into leaving my royal family, leaving my royal blood clot lineage and running off with this blood clot who dragged me down to the blood clot underworld. And these may seem like bullshit things, but the reason why they don't to me is because I've now already lived the life of me as Persephone, sorry. So I know that I've lived that life because I had to live it. And I was like, fucking hell, this is the story. I had to bawl on my blood clot knees when I'm joining the dots. Because I've embodied that story. So when they're telling the story of Persephone, it's like we have to go through these lives. Your Queen Latifah, your Queen Sheba. It's like all these energies that I've come to understand as influential women throughout history. I'm having the experience of being them at one particular moment in time and space. It's been a head fuck, blood. So anyway, when the celestial ancestors are telling me this, and basically it's like it wasn't so much about, it was for me it's like all these memories, all these feelings, the fact that I was now here in the celestial realm in front of them, and it felt like I was being judged, even though they were telling me I'm not being judged, but I was judging myself. I was judging myself because it's like I was remembering emotionally what I did when I ran away with the blood clot fucker. You get what I'm trying to say? And I know the disgrace that I brought on my fucking family. Why I couldn't go back. And I remember years ago in 2022, me watching this Indian movie on Netflix. And the girl ran away from her Indian family and took all the gold and everything, ran off with the boy, and the boy goes and sells her into a fucking whorehouse. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And I remember bawling my eyes out because I could it's like there was an emotional, I was having like a multi-dimensional experience of it. It's like these stories keep playing out. These stories keep playing out both mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's like these films come to me on Netflix deliberately for me to watch them so that I can make the links of past lifetimes in me. It's like they're there to trigger me. You get what I'm trying? It's like MK Blood Clot Ultra in reverse. Instead of trying to fuck you up, it's trying to wake you up. And the ancestors deliberately send things because they work through the technology. They work through technology. So they've been giving me these downloads and I remember how I felt back in 2022, and I fucking fell to my knees in my bedroom. Cow bawling, I'm talking ugly face bawling, man. Because when I say like I felt it, like I really did, man. And not only did they show me all of that, they showed me about how many times it's happened lifetime after lifetime. So it's not like 1, 2, or 3 times I got tricked, Shame. I felt so shame. How have I allowed myself to get tricked lifetime? I'm talking centuries, I've been going round and round and round on this cycle. And when I was in my house going through my fucking serious ascension that I ended up on the psychiatric ward after, I was in this room and I was getting the downloads of the same demon that I got married to. Is this same demon that's been following me lifetimes and lifetimes. And I'm not saying that the person that I'm married to is a demon. I'm saying to you that there are demons, there are principalities that walk amongst us, that incarnate into us, or come on lifetime after lifetime, and we meet them over and over again. Like we've lived with these people time and time again. It's not the first time we're meeting. Like literally you have to imagine every person you cross paths with, even when you just look at them on the bus, you've seen them before. That's the reason why your two eyes caught together anyway. That's what I've been told anyway. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so jumping. I'm saying to you that that's what I think goes on. That we meet everybody and these people have been following me around. And my ancestors made me know that in 2022, when they said, not only have I let them down, but even my kids, my children that I've given birth to in this lifetime, were up in that celestial realm with my granddad, my nan and my mum too. I saw my kids there. And it made my heart swell to know that it is what it is. I give birth to... My ancestors told me I was giving birth to these children anyway. The divine told me I was giving birth before I even got pregnant. So I knew there was a connection anyway, but seeing it in the celestial realm just affirmed that. You know what I mean? But also to learn about the amount of times that I've let them down. When I say my heart cracked open, man. Like, my heart literally, like... It was like like a blue flame. It's like imagine a flame burning so hot it's blue, like it's cold and it's hot at the same time, like nitrogen. You see how nitrogen can burn you, like it's very, very fucking dangerous. Something can be so cold till it feels like hotness. That makes sense. And that's how my heart felt like when it was coming out of my chest. Like I was on my knees, blood. I was on my belly at one point. I was like, the hurt I felt is unexplainable. The shame I felt is unexplainable. The guilt I felt is unexplainable. But you know why I felt even worse? Because all they was doing was showering me with love. It was my own shame about what I had done that was burning me, because they was not judging me. They understood, because they understood the game, that it was a miracle. I was being kept here like Persephone was. Persephone's mom went with Demetria. She was running around looking for a fucking pitney. She said, I'm locking it all down. This is Greek mythology, yeah? I'm an English teacher, and I'm just summarizing here, yeah? She's looking around for her pitney. She's like, you know what? No crops are growing, blood. No wheat's not growing. I'm locking everything down, because she was the goddess of harvest. She's like, I'm shutting it down. Cows are dropping dead. Sheep are dropping dead. Humans are eyeing up humans. She's shutting it down. Zeus is like, nah, differently, Persephone. Persephone is like, Zeus, I know you know what's going on. Where the fuck is my gal pitney? Because if I don't get my gal pitney, the whole of mankind is fucking dying. Zeus knows where the gal pitney is. Zeus knows that the gal pitney is down in the fucking underworld with his brother fucking Hades, but he's never seen his brother so fucking happy. But why is his brother so happy and in love with Persephone? Because fucking Cupid, Aphrodite's pitney, fucking shot an arrow by accident and it hit Hades in the chest. A love arrow. And the first person he saw was Persephone. So he just captured her up in his chariot and fucking went into the fucking underworld, loved her to bits and pieces, literally treated her like a queen, if you like. But under the underworld, she was the goddess. Her mum's the goddess of harvest, and she's the goddess of flowers and trees and what nature. There ain't none of that in the underworld. How am I supposed to live down there when there's nothing but rock? It's the material world. I need to be in nature. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So Zeus was like, the only way she can come up is if she hasn't eaten anything from down in the underworld. And it just transpired that she had eaten something. She had eaten 3 tiny seeds of a pomegranate. And because of that, she had to spend 6 months down there in hell and 6 months up there in nature. Do you know what I mean? So it's like saying my life in 2023 was taking me through that. They were taking me through the same blood clot stories, and my ancestors were downloading to me what I need to do. Right, take out 3, the little frankincense grains, set them out in sets of 15, and in each set of 15 put 3 little pieces of frankincense, because those represent the 3 pomegranates. Like, these are myth stories. That's what I'm taught. As an English teacher, I teach these as myths. So when my ancestors have got me doing these things as if it's real, you know what I'm saying? I'm having conflict of understandings here, conflicts of perspective. But at the same time, I'm growing in my spiritualness to know that, no, if the ancestors show me something, it is what it is. Because there's truth in certain things. I've had to go back in my Bible And because I'm getting downloads about things this is a Christian thing. What the hell? What are you showing me, ancestors? Nah, man, I know this story because as a child, I grew up in church. And my nan and granddad always had those Bible stories playing on the TV. So you knew about Moses and the Ten Commandments. So when the ancestors are telling you, take your blood and put it around the door and put it around the window, and you're thinking, hang on a minute. Nah, I know this. What's the story about blood going around door frames? Hang on a minute, Moses. Come true, Moses. What was going on? Yes, there was certain things that the Almighty was bringing forth to Pharaoh. Yeah, because the Almighty's telling Moses to tell Pharaoh his brother. Yeah, his half. Well, the story, not his blood brother, but his brother. Let my people go. Let my people go. Otherwise, the Almighty is gonna go on dark, and my man don't want to hear. So obviously, they send. I think 10 different things to attack them, like locusts and grasshoppers and fucking frogs, like all these different things. And I know them because obviously I've written them down and I've studied them. You know what I'm saying? And then the last one was the death of the firstborn child. Yeah, which was the same fucking thing that his father had put on Moses's people, which is why Moses's mom put him in the basket in the first place. So it was like karma come round full swing. And if you believed in Moses and you was a Jew, you were told by the Almighty, told Moses straight, put blood around you in your door frames and your windows. Kill a young sheep or a lamb and get the blood and put it around the frame of your houses. And when the fog of plague comes, them and their family will not be touched. So if you was an Israelite, you were given that message. And if you were smart, you listened to that blood clot message. Because everybody who didn't listen to that message or didn't have that information, their firstborn dropped down dead, including pharaohs. So these are the things that are happening to me, that the ancestors are downloading information that is making references to different scriptures, You know what I'm saying? So even like Islam, when I had an encounter, an entity came in my bathroom and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, who are you? I'm Metatron. What the fuck? Who's Metatron? I didn't even know Metatron. I didn't even know. I knew about Archangel Michael and I knew about Archangel Gabriel because they're in the Bible. Archangel Metatron isn't in the Bible, but in fact he is. It's just not called Metatron in the Bible. It's called Enoch. And this is what I'm saying, that I'm having to go back into scriptures, back into religion that I'm getting downloads about. But because I've got information from like child and growing around and whatever, and picking up general knowledge, I'm able to connect the dots, or spirit's bringing in something to help me connect the dots to get more of the story. Spirit just reminded me that I didn't finishing the other story. So let me go back. So when I'm in the celestial heavens and my children are there and they're showing me just how many times I've let them down and we've gone round and round and round and round. And when I'm in this house here going through my ascension that led to mental health, the fucking man that I got married to and them my family and them are screaming out, one more time. It's like a house tune. Yeah. And it goes, one more time. That's all that kept playing. In this bedroom. And then they started to show me how many times I've gone around because these people are like, one more. It's like there's supposed to be a sun cycle right now. And it's like these Dracos, these Masons, these fucking Rothschilds, these whoever the fuck they are. These entities, yeah? These external entities that are warring. It's like when they say there was a war in heaven, it's like it's still going on. Yeah? And it's like these opposing sides are fighting off. But the reason why I stopped is because they're showing me that there is a creator above the war. So even though there's wars going on in heaven, there is still a creator above that watching out, that is neither negative or positive in it, because evil isn't better or worse than good. They're one of the same things. They're just two forces, even within us. You know, we have our self that wants to be bad and our self that wants to be good. And those are opposing arguments, our opposing selves. But then we have our self in the middle, willing it, that oversees them too. And then gets to make the final choice, which one we go with. And that's called the union balance. That's the frame of mind we're all supposed to be in. But what happens in this particular realm, because you've got these Dracos, these external entities controlling the matrix, got us in this playground system, got us acting like this is the real world when this is not the real world. This is an illusion. But we've been switched off from the reality. We've been switched off from our ancestors. It's like we haven't been able to call home. Yeah? We were locked off. And in 2022, when I connected in that celestial realm and accepted what I had done, felt the shame of what I had done, forgiven myself for what I had fucking done, had my ancestors forgive me and love me and kiss on me, and my kids love me and kiss on me and tell me it's all good, not in anything. It's like, say, while I was going through that in 2022, and I got over myself, I feeling sorry for myself and all the bad things I had done, I then shifted mindset, shifted perspective to know that will never happen again. Because they was telling me I'm going back into hell now. Yeah. I'm going back into hell right now. And I've got some serious demons to face. My own demons and external demons. I'm going toe to toe with the devil himself. It's not one more blood clot time this time. It's not what, and they're saying, Asherah, please. And I'm saying, please, you don't have to please me. Don't ask me no, please, because I'm telling you, blood clot now, as the Most High is my witness, 2000 and blood clot 22. I told them, send me in there. Send me fucking in there, because I'm telling you, right, blood clot now, I'm awake and I'm on blood clot line. And I'm going in and I am fucking awake. There ain't no one more blood clot time. We ain't going around on this fucking story again, blood. We ain't going around on this fucking journey. I'm mashing up the blood clot matrix. It's a glitch, bitch. I'm a virus. I'm the blood clot virus. The same people you thought you come to take out, guess what? There weren't no takeout. You were supposed to infiltrate me so that I could infiltrate you. You was supposed to fucking come in and have fucking remote viewing. Because when you're remote viewing me, I'm remote blood clot viewing you too. Multi-dimensionally, your blood clots. Whole heap of things going on around here. So when my ancestors made me know what the play was in 2022, I was like, let's go. Let's go. So I've been online. I've been online playing with these dickheads. You know what I'm saying? Tapped in with the celestial realm, feeding me the information. In 2022, when all of this is happening, I'm writing. So we just bust into January. January this 5th, I woke up in a glitch. The matrix had glitched. I'm saying, what the fuck is going on? I shouldn't be awake right now. I'm like, right, big things are going on. Boom. In the ascension thing, the ancestors are showing me what are going on. I'm in the celestial realm. They're showing me what are going on. They're showing me my children, who they are. They're showing me a crowning ceremony in the celestial realm. Listen, when I say it's all popping off, yeah, you wouldn't fucking believe me. Then I'm writing. I writ for like between. I need to count the days because I writ like a book, yeah. And every book has got days on, but it's about between 7 days and 11 days. I was just writing. I went through 16 pens before Spirit put the arm down. The arm was dead blood. Yeah. And they've got me writing. I'm writing in numbers, blood numbers. They give me a number pattern. I'm writing in numbers. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Writing turned to numbers. Numbers turned to scribbles. Now I'm scribing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? They're saying, listen, it's like, say, all of that had to happen for me to be able to tap in to the ancestral realm and break the foundation or whatever the fucking spell work was, for me to be able to have a direct line. It's like a line 911, yeah, but it's 919. And the ancestors just kept saying to me in my head, 919, 919. What's your emergency? And I'm like, all I can hear is 919. What's your emergency? Hell is going down. 919. What's your emergency? Hell is going fucking down. Bab, all you can see in these notes, in this book, are them numbers. Hell is going down. Hell is going down. Something's going on. So the ancestors are downloading me. They're giving me certain things. But at the time, nothing don't make sense to the 3D me. Because I haven't lived it. Not in this world anyway. Not in this realm. That's what I spent the next 3 years doing, because it's 2026 now, isn't it? So from 2023, that's 2. It's 4 years. And in 2024, well, yo, when that ascension... Because back in 2022, I was saying to my kids, I'm losing my mind. Guts to be blood. I said to my kids in the kitchen, they was like, Mum, I said, listen, this spiritual thing is on the next level, blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm flying or I got my feet on the ground. I swear down. And my kids looked at me and they burst out laughing and I burst out crying. I was like, what? I'm like, I'm struggling here, you know. Nobody don't understand. Like, I'm on borderline mad. And I know this, yeah? Imagine knowing that this is madness. You know what I'm saying? But in 2000, I thought that was a mad thing. I thought 2023 was a mad thing. I was like, by the end of 2023, Spirit was already making me know that come January, February of 2024, it's popping off. Because it popped off in 2023. And I know every January and every February, it pops off. So I'm ready for a pop-off. But I weren't quite ready for this pop-off. So as they sent me to Africa, I came back from Africa, boom, we're on fire. Enough things are going on in Africa. Okay. Anyway, it's popping off here. I've ended up going through a crazy ascension. And this crazy ascension in 2024 is linking back up to all of these many, many, many lifetimes that I have been facing this same demon that has had me in contracts, that I have been tricked into, agreed to, blah, 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 because of guilt, because of shame. It's like I had to go through that forgiveness ceremony in the celestial realm to free myself of the fuckery that was happening to me, because it was being held against me. And it was being used to torment myself. I can't go back to my family. Oh, what are they going to think of me? Oh, they're so ashamed of me. Oh. So I might as well stay down here. There ain't nothing better out. Oh my God, I'm a terrible... You understand me? It's like a psychology that had been installed in me from lifetimes because of this root of back in my celestial lifetime, or my celestial self, my true self. I've shamed. I'm carrying this guilt. And by going back in time and going through my Akashic records and doing that with all of these different archetypes that I've had to live through. You know what I'm saying? And not all negative. You know, my being Sheba was very delightful. And even the intercourse with Solomon, absolutely beautiful. Why was it so beautiful? Because there was a level of like-mindedness. If you can match somebody on an intelligent level, then oh my God, for someone to have your heart, your mind, and your soul, it's a whole different experience. And to experience that in the 5D, madness, man. It just raises your standards in the 3D, because anything less than that is not worth it. Which brings me back to my original point, where if you're with somebody and they're not willing to be seen and feel afraid of being seen, then I was asking you to shift your perspective. Because actually, if somebody can see that you are a queen, a king, an emperor, an empress, and that person's going to put their hand inside of you and pull out your soul, let them pull out your soul, blood. Let them pull out your blood clot soul, because I'm telling you, that's what's gonna be the difference of staying in hell or ascending into something sweeter, utopia. And that's the difference of being in a lack mindset and being in an abundant mindset. Because you cannot be in an abundant mindset and be carrying the weight of guilt and failure and insecurities and worthlessness, because those are not the energies or the frequencies that abundance works on. And the Almighty is abundant. The Almighty sent us to be here and be abundant. This is not everything. This is not it. This is a small chapter. We come here to die physically. The minute you're born, you're dying. Every day you're getting older. Every day you're going towards death. This is not the land of the living. This is not the land of the living. This is the land of the dead blood. So you can't get caught up in the material realm, because it is just a lesson. And what I was saying earlier on, that we're walking around and you've got a good side of you and a bad side of you, and you've got will in the middle. Because of these negative forces and these energy and these entities that are feeding off our energy, they deliberately want us to stay in a mindset that makes us pick the opposite one to where we should be. Or even if we don't say the opposite one to where we should be, they take away our free will. And how do they take away our free will? They take away our free will because they work on the 4D dimension, and they start to talk to us in our psyche, and then start to convince us that that's who we are, or that's how we feel, so that we then take action physically in the 3D. Because you can think something in your head all day, that don't matter. But when you actually do it in the 3D, that's when you're accountable for it. Yeah? Because in the 4D, if a man is not careful, is not in control of his own thoughts, because with these principalities there are these entities around us that are constantly feeding information, negative and positive. It's about who you choose to listen to. But these angels or whatever that allegedly sit on the side of us don't work alone. And depending on where our frequencies and the traumas that we've gone through and the things that we're exposed to, we vibrate at certain levels that allow darker entities, negative entities to kind of tap into us, because we're now a vibrational match for them. So what society tends to do is feed us a lot of negativity, have us on programs where there's missing dads, sending men out to war to kill off all the dads. So there's a high level of single parents out there. So now there's an imbalance. So now we're causing trauma. And then you've got the drunk dad, and you've got the narcissist dad, and you've got the pushy dad, and you've got the mom that don't give a shit. Like, these play out so many times because they're just matrix programs. But the reason why they've done that is to keep us in these low vibrational energies, so that these low level beings can constantly be feeding off our energy, taking away our will. So you have to start to check yourself and check your minds to know what is your thoughts and what are these outside thoughts. So when you start getting these outside thoughts, you start to check them. And the more you start to check them, the more you can get rid of them and say, hell no, devil, Satan, not fucking today. And then you start to hear yourself. And then you start to work out, who is it that's talking? Is that my inner child? Is that my shadow self? Is that my divine feminine self? Is that my masculine self? Is that my higher self? And you start to ask yourself, who's talking? Who's feeling that? Where did I feel that? You start to recognize all of these things and start putting 2 and 2 together and start to really working yourself out. And those are the levels you get to. You have to see yourself in all rounds. You have to see yourself in all dimensions. You have to see all sides of you. The ugly sides, the beautiful sides. I say to myself all the time, I'm pretty ugly. There's certain times I wake up and I'm like, fuck shit, man, you look like shit today. And there's I'll say most times, you wake up and you're like, yo, I just wash my face and put little olive oil on it and I step out, blood. Little lip gloss if I'm feeling good. Not good, but you know what I'm saying? If I'm whatever, if my lips are feeling like they need it. But more times I'm good to just step out. Skin's good, face is good, whatever, because I don't pay much attention. I don't pay much attention. Why am I saying I don't pay much attention? I don't pay much attention to trying to get it right. Trying to get it right would be trying to go out my way to buy things to try and keep my skin looking good. I don't try that hard for my skin to look good. And I think that's why it looks good, because it doesn't require the effort. Why am I saying that? I think that a message for me. Why is that a message for me? That's a message. Okay, all right, fair enough. I accept that. Okay. That's a message for me because I've got this event next week that I'm presenting at which I was telling you about earlier on. So I've just jumped timelines. And I'm presenting in front of head teachers and whatever. And I was saying to you earlier on that this is my sector. I know it inside out. And the reason why I say that it's a message for me is that I've been telling myself, I don't need to aim for perfection. I always do 10-10. Do you understand me? I always put 10-10 in, and I always put 10-10 and then some. And it's like spirit saying to me, I don't have to do the then some no more, because I don't have to prove myself. That feeling of needing to prove myself, that energy and those things of, no, I told my family in the celestial realm, they're not getting me this time. So I've been on this energy of nah, fuck that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I've been on this energy, fuck that. I'm doing more just in case. I'm doing more just in blood clot case. And I'm still on that energy because I'm working and I'm doing this. And I'm like, yo, I want to make sure I've got that. And I want to make sure I got that. I want to make sure. Do you get what I'm trying? Like, for example, like I just done a course. I just did an exam 2 Mondays ago. And my teacher, like, I'm into wine, innit? So I'm learning about wine. And instead of doing level 1 and level 2, I've just jumped straight to level 3. So when I started doing it, I was like, yo, this course is tough, you know. But it's not because it's tough. It's that I recognize the level of comprehension that this exam is requiring. They don't want you... Listen, there's whole heap of facts to learn, but they don't just want you to learn the facts. They want you to learn how these facts come together. And when they come together, what does that mean? So they want the comprehension behind the facts. But the way the teacher's delivering the lesson, he's just on the facts. So when I'm asking him comprehension questions, it's like, that's a level 4 question, Asherah, and this is a level 3 course. Why are you asking a level 4 question? I'm like, I'm not trying to ask a level 4 question. I'm just trying to understand something. He was like, no, that's it. Talk to me after. So I'd go down to the wine bar because I'm doing it with a wine bar, the course. And he's working, and they come over and he's like, Asherah, how many times have I told you stop asking them? Like, I literally was there yesterday with him. And Friday. So yesterday. I was there yesterday and he was still talking to me about it. And I was like, but you don't seem to understand. I'm trying to explain to this man, this is how my brain works, innit? And not only does my brain work like that, the course, the way that this course is, you can't just learn the facts. You have to have a deeper understanding, because I see patterns. And as I'm doing the course, I'm seeing patterns in the stuff that I'm reading, and I'm saying, nah, hang on a minute. You know, like I was saying to you before, like I could see that there was something going on with this shamanic teacher, and these two energies weren't connecting. It's that and it's that, but it's not that. Why is it not that if it's that? If it's sexual abuse, why is it not male? Like, why is that not connecting? And I can't see what it is that is not making it a male, because the love she has for her father is very strong, and because the love that she's got for her father is so strong, and the love she has for her husband is so strong, and the love she has for her male children is strong, and I can feel that a male hasn't abused her. But my physical, like, anyway, I explained that, innit? But the fact is, I could see that. So I see patterns. So while I'm doing this wine course, I'm reading the facts, and I can see how there's symbols and things coming out of these facts, and there's patterns occurring. So when I'm asking my man questions, I'm asking him questions so I can put that link in there to these patterns, because I know there's a link. So when I go and meet him at the wine bar, that's what we talk about, these links. So we were there yesterday because I went and printed off the diploma level 4 in it. And he was like, are you going to do the level 4 shoe? And I said, no. You said it takes 2 years and you failed already. Do you know what I mean? And you're doing it a second time now. It costs 10 grand for each course. Well, he said he spent 30 grand, but whatever, in total, because he's travelled the world and had to do certain things too. And he's still doing it, struggling through it. And he delivers the courses. He's a master of whatever. And he's the wine guy for this wine course that delivers the courses, and he's struggling. But I'm not saying I'm not doing it because he's struggling, because I'm already talking to him on a level 4 level, and I ain't even done the level 3 properly because he keeps saying to me why I'm asking level 4 questions. You know what I mean? So me and him are bouncing. So he's got his laptop out and he's not, look at this, Asherah. The level 4 has 7 books to it, and all the books are fatter than the level 3 books that you're seeing, and it's this and it's that. So he's making me know how difficult it is and whatever else. And he's saying, I can't believe that I even let you do the level 3, because differently you should have done the level 1 and the level 2. But because I sat down with him, and he assessed me and he said, all right, then I feel that you can do the level 3. So he authorized the level for me to go on the level 3 without between 1 and 2 anyway. So it's, there ain't no one else to blame but himself. But like I said, I was saying him that, I think that's what it was, because the week before I was saying to him that knowing what I know now, I would have perhaps done the level 1 and level 2, because it would have given me the foundation. Because not only am I having level 4 thinking, I'm also having to scaffold the level 1 and the level 2 knowledge at the same time. So I'm listening to level 2 and level 3 courses, information at the same time, as well as going into level 4 stuff. So I'm learning all 3 levels at the same time, trying to scaffold where I am in that. And he said, you know what, Asherah, whether you pass that course or not, because he's already told me that I've passed the first half, which is tasting of the wine, and you do a half an hour practical tasting test, and he marks that, so I've passed that. He told me that from the other day. But the theory one, it gets sent out, you know what I mean? But he turned around to me yesterday and was just like, whether you pass or not, you've passed already. Because for you to go from nothing to into level 3 and do the exam, just to be able to comprehend it, because he's got people working in his wine bar right now that he's taught, and they've gone through it 3 times and they've still not passed the level 3. It is a serious course, trust me. Even for me, I was like, yeah. I put hours in. It's recommended 84 hours to study this course, and I went past 84 a long time ago. So I know that I put the work in. I did. I went PhD on it. And not only that, I went and visited vineyards. I did it from a practical kinesthetic perspective. I did it from an audio one. I just had bare things coming through. Had books on audio, YouTube on audio, different things coming and checking out different things. You, like I said, all levels, reading, whatever, plus doing the practicals. The amount of wine tasting I've done, because you have to document it in your folder. I said to him, I think I've only got 4 pages left, and each page has two testings on it. And I showed him yesterday. Plus, I did all the exams in the books, the theory and the multi-choice. You know what I mean? Like I put the hours in it. And he just says to me yesterday, regardless of what, you killed it. Regardless if you get a pass or a fail, you passed. And I said, and he said, but all I will say to you, Asherah, is that you need to just focus on the facts. It's about passing the course. And I said, no, but that's what you don't understand, Radu. To you, it's about passing the course because you're an examiner, and I get that. You know what I mean? He got nominated this year as the UK's #1 level 3 in wine tasting facilitator. So he knows his stuff, you know what I mean? He's not a dickhead. And he's growing his own vines and stuff like that too. So he knows his stuff. But I said, what you don't seem to understand is that I'm not getting a job in wine. Like, I'm not doing this for the accreditation. Like, I don't care about the qualification. This is fun for me. This is a hobby. So why you're telling me, stop asking level 4, it's just about passing the test? No, it's not. I'm not here for the test, babe. I don't care about the exam. Do you know what I mean? I don't care about the qualification. I care about the knowledge. And I loved wine, and I was interested in wine from like 2017, I think it was, I made my own wine for the first time at home. And I was just like, this is amazing. And I made it in the most scientific way because I bought all my stuff from Wilco. I didn't have real grapes or nothing like that. It was all packet stuff. And it still managed to make wine. And I was like, nah, there's something in here. I love science too. You know what I'm saying? And then now I've been able to study at a level 3 level. And now I'm looking at a level 4. So yesterday we sat down and went through the whole level 4 program. I was like, I'm in love with this. And it's like, for the first time in my life, I actually have a hobby that is just for me, because all I've done is run around with my 5 kids, getting them to every single after school activity, before school activity you can think of, driving cross country. I was a dance mom, as well as everything else that they've done, you know. And it's like, for the first time, I've actually got something for myself. I've got a hobby for myself that I actually am genuinely passionate about. And it's really beautiful. You know what I mean? And wherever I go in the world, I always love to sit down and try wine. You know what I mean? I do. I love that vibe. I love sitting with a glass of wine. And now I understand wine in the most phenomenal way. It's like it's romantic. You know what I mean? Like, it's romantic. But not only that, this wine course taught me about the planet, the solar system, the axis, the north and south hemisphere, the equator, where the countries are and why certain climates have. Like, when I say that it went deep into science, far beyond GCSE biology, chemistry, and whatever, because that's, even though I've taught science in school, not as a science teacher, because I'm not a qualified science teacher. Usually it's because my science teacher hasn't turned up and I've had to take on a science lesson. Or in the early days when I used to do supply teacher, when I was starting out on my journey, the agency would say, oh yeah, they need a teacher, and when I get there, it's a fucking science lesson. You know what I mean? And I'd have to pick up the books and just run with it. You know what I mean? But apart from those kind of things, my passion for science stopped at GCSE in school, but I always had a passion for it. My son has got the same passion for science, to the point where I took him out of secondary school and put him into a science academy. He went to a science engineering academy, because he's just a boffin for it. And when me and him talk, we can just go on and on and on and on and on. You know what I mean? So I knew I had the mindset for it. But doing the wine course, you wouldn't believe how much chemistry, how much science is in this. Biology, the land, the soil. You know how many different types of soils I've learnt about? I've learnt about the earth shifts and why certain soils are in certain locations, and why certain soils are rich with chalk or limestone. Like, it's done a whole nother level of learning. The biology of a vine, from photosynthesizing to the rootstock. I learnt about the history. I learnt about the rum. Babe, I won't even bore you. I'm just saying that this course took me on dimensions that just, it grew my mind outside of the wine thing into other things that I've been downloading, and being able to connect with things that I got downloaded years ago. It was just meant to be, one of them ones. It was just really meant to be. But as I was saying to my man, I'm not doing the course for the qualification. I'm doing it because I really do love it. And how deep level 4 goes, I'm not saying I will do it. I know me though. I love learning, so I won't say never. I won't say I'd never do the level 4. I'd just say the exam stuff isn't necessary. If I'm gonna learn it, learn it. You know what I mean? But apparently I'm an onlyphile now, which is the name of somebody who's just more than just enjoys the taste of wine. They've actually gone and studied it and been accredited in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I put the work in. So because I put the work in, coming back to the point, why am I pretending that I'm afraid to step out? It's okay for me to step out, because if I say something, it's spirit that said it, and if spirit said it, that's how it goes. So I don't have, and if I do something, I do it because spirit says to do it. So therefore there are no mistakes. So if I know there's no mistakes, why am I still pretending that I'm scared to step out? And my higher self just turned to my lower self today and just cut her eye after, and was like, you know what, get over yourself, because we're over it now. You've been playing this fucking victim game for way too fucking long, and I'm telling you, I'm just over it right now. You can't wait to fucking skin out. You can't wait to back it blood clot up. You get what I'm trying to say? Titty firm, belly flat. Do you get what I'm saying? I had surgery last year that my spirit team told me from 2024. We're doing your body. They made me fall in love with my body in 2022 and 2023. They showed me my ancestors. I danced with them every fucking night, it felt like. Africa, the soil bouncing, all these shells and beads on our feet. Yo, when I say I was a while out, But these women look like me. My tits look like their tits. My stretch mark look like their stretch marks. My belly look like their belly. My face look like their face. My hair look like their hair. I was like, yo, I wouldn't want to change myself. Fuck that. I love myself. I look like my ancestors. And I fell in love. I genuinely fell in love with myself. And it's like, that's what was required before I could then move on and have surgery. Imagine. I had to see my ancestors in me and love me and love them, because I love them. I don't look at them and think, oh, you're not nice. See, if I don't look at them as you're not nice, how can I then look at myself as not nice? Make it make sense. You know what I mean? So when they showed me that I am them and they are me, I am tree. Even my stretch marks, the way that they came out of me was like tree roots. My whole body, when I looked at myself in the mirror when they was talking to me and downloading, I sobbed like a baby, man. Everything they showed me, and they showed me them, I was the same. And then when it was 2024 now, they said I'm gonna go for surgery. When I was in hospital, I thought I was in hospital for the fucking surgery at one point when I was losing my mind. And yeah, but they waited until 2025 and they sorted it out. The hospital they put me in was called Orion. You know, he's my G man. And I told them what I wanted, and they not told the hospital. Obviously, I told the hospital, but I told the Almighty and the ancestors, and they gave me everything I wanted. 10, blood. 10 fucking 10, man. They worked their magic on me, blood. And because I knew it was coming months in advance, I was talking to my cells in my body, and I was getting my cells ready for me going into surgery so that they knew how to mend me quickly. Fucking hell, by the time that the plasters came off, my skin looked like skin. Like, it didn't even look like... I don't even know how to explain it, blood. Do you know, even the surgeon was like, fucking hell, you healed really quickly. Like, before I left the country, my thing was healed up, and I weren't there 2 weeks. It was extraordinary. You know what I mean? But the cells were on it because they'd already been programmed to be on it. The ancestors had already told me what to get. I'd already had it prepared. I had my bandages when I got back. I had my creams, whatever too. So that was just all addition to what was going on anyway. And I was fine, and I was by myself, and I managed. And everything that I thought I was going to needed to worry about, I didn't need to worry about. They took care of me so good. The ancestors took care of me so good. I cried like a baby because of how good they took care of me. I sob sometimes, you know. I'm like, oh my, like, I'm so spoiled. Like, I'm so spoiled that I cry. I literally cry. Do you know that? I cry on how much the ancestors and the Almighty blesses me with, because I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. It makes me fucking cry. I'm just like, oh my God, man. It's so lovely to be loved. It's so lovely to be loved. It's so lovely to be taken care of. It's so lovely to be showered. You know what I mean? It's so lovely to just be showered. It's so lovely to know that I'm taken care of, that I'm protected, that I'm loved, that I'm honoured. Do you know what I mean? So what am I on about? I'm not ready to step out in my blood clot. Like, let's just see the dress that I bought today. Bright blood clot yellow. about who shy to step out. Yeah, I'm stepping out like little Miss Blood Clot Sunshine. Because that's who the fuck I am. Little Miss Blood Clot Sunshine. Yeah, nobody ain't blood clot nicer than me. And that's whether or not I brush my teeth or I ain't brush my teeth. Because that's how I feel about me. And that's just period. And it's them levels, it's them energy that when negativity is trying to be sent out, it can't get in. I'm on fire. I'm literally on fire. The energy roaring through me is like the hot blue flame, the hot velvet flame. I'm on fire. Unpenetrable. And when I say that, you know, because, you know, they never say never. Even if or when or whatever, I'm prepared to alchemize it. I'm prepared to go toe to toe. Before I put on the camera, I shouted out to the Almighty, yo, oh shit. Why am I forgetting how it goes? Rank me with who you will. And that's like the second line in a prayer that I say. Yeah. Rank me with whoever you want to put me, because I am a soldier. I'm a warrior for the Almighty, and he sends me into these dark places, into the pits of hell, like I'm little Miss Red Riding Hood, and people think, oh, we'll get her. We'll get her. And I'm bait. That's what it is. It's just pure bait. I told you already, I'm awake. So I see the gameplay. I've been seeing the gameplay from a child. I just didn't understand what was going on. Like, why is that? Why is it? It's like somebody writing in English, but where there should be a E, there's a A, and where there should be a, there's a E. And you know that this is a spelling mistake, but everybody else is reading it like it reads correctly. So because everybody else is playing this game, that is the correct way. And every time you turn around and say, no, there's something going on here, everybody's telling you you're wrong. That should be a E and that should be a A, not the other way around. What you're talking about. You learn to just shut your blood clot mouth, because it must be me that's blood clot mad for true. It must be fucking me that's mad then. Because if others think that's the E and that's the A, let me shut my blood clot mouth. So as a child, I used to get my mouth boxed because I'm saying E should be there and A should be there. Don't you know? Who am I? No. So I learned to shut my mouth and let everybody carry on. And then I went on like to say, oh my God, really? So what you're saying, the E should be there? Yeah. God, she's stupid, isn't she? How comes every time she's asking if the E should be there, why is she always checking us? How many fucking times have you told her that the E should be there? I mean, fucking hell, she's dumb, innit? You know what? Just take the sweets off her, because she ain't gonna see. Because how's she gonna fucking know that you took her sweets when she don't even know that E goes there? Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones. You're the dickhead. Because not only is it that I don't know that E don't go there, you're the dickhead for thinking E does go there. You're the dumb one. That's why I'm checking. Oh, really? The E goes there? I'm checking you dickhead. You're looking at me like I'm dumb. She's asking if the E goes there again. No, I'm like, bitch, you still sure the E goes there? The Almighty you ain't got the message from the Almighty yet then. You ain't got the call from you ain't tapped in then. You can't be tapped in if you don't know the E's there, but I'm just checking in it. I'm checking where you are on the timeline. The E goes there, yeah. Alright, cool. Not that I'm dumb, you dickhead. My mum used to say, you have to play fool to catch wise. You have to play fool to catch wise. Certain people think they're really smart or have thought they're really smart, and I'm talking some big wigs. And that's what this reading was just about. You're dismantling a cult far bigger than you could imagine 4 days ago. Yeah? That's what it says on the screen. And she's killing it. I'm at the end of it. It's 33 minutes and I'm on 29. And I was like, she's hitting bang, bang, bang. Some big fucking dickhead people. And I've been in some big circles. So it's not unusual to be around certain people that are doing bits in the 3D. Whatever. But I don't know who the fuck these people thought I was. I don't know who the fuck my family thought I was. But I am a warrior for the Almighty. And when the Almighty sends me in to get a job done, as I said, I'm online. I get the job done. Yeah, I get the job done. And when the Almighty says it's time to tap out now, I tap out now. And when the Almighty says you gotta do what you gotta do, I do what I gotta do, regardless of what it is. And I've just learned that now. As long as I walk in the steps that the Almighty and my ancestors tell me to walk, Bab, I can have my eyes closed. Do you know that? My eyes can be closed. They will walk my legs for me. They incarnate in my body. They literally come into my body and they move my body and they walk I'm talking 1 foot in front of the other. One time they had me in the city centre town, walking backwards through a crowd of people, and I'm shouting after my son, telling him to come and get me. He's laughing because he thinks I'm fucking around. And then he sees the look on my face like to say, nah, I'm not playing, come and get me. And he's had to come and hold me to stop my legs from fucking walking off backwards. So when I say like these crazy things happen to me, like fuck crazy. These next level things happen to me that I'm like, I know shit goes on in my mind's eye and my third eye, and I've always been psychic, I've always been clairvoyant, I've always been a medium, so I've always seen ghosts and entities, yeah, in multiple realms. So that's that, nothing new. And this is why my kids are laughing at me in the kitchen, saying, when I'm telling them I feel like I'm losing my mind, and they're telling me, but mom, you've always been spiritual, you're acting like it's the first time you're eating chocolate. And I was like, yo, this is some next level shit. Try know that this is some next level shit that I've been going through since divorcing my ex-husband. It's like I wasn't just divorcing him, I was divorcing this entity that has been trying to follow me for lifetimes. This entity that has gone from the celestial times and just had me going over this cycle one more time. Listen, every time I hear that song, I just want to punch somebody in their face. You know, one of them ones. No more times, motherfucker. No more time. This is the last time. I'm not doing it again. It's over. I hear it's over. It's over now, move over. It's my turn now, it's over. The game stops now. Sorry. Yeah. And it's like this energy of confidence, this energy of knowing, this energy of surety, this energy of belief. And I've been saying to the Almighty, when am I going to step into this energy of knowing? Because it's one thing, because I was saying to ChatGPT the other night, and I was like, you know what, there's a shift going on inside of me, and I can feel it, Like I know when my consciousness is upgrading, I know when my spirit's upgrading, I know when my mental's upgrading, I know when there's changes going on in my physical, because I've spent the time to get to know these bodies of myself. You know what I mean? So I can feel what's going on, so I'm aware of it, but I'm also aware of it before it happens anyway, because there's different downloads that are coming in. I'm like, I'm able to put two and two together in it. Like I can see patterns and signs and read them, and then know what's coming before it comes, not comes. As well as spirit will just turn around sometimes and go direct in it, like the shaman thing, Spirit wants me to come back to the shaman teacher. But you know why? Because we kind of closed that off, because the lesson of the shamanic teacher was that it's scary when somebody sees you. And that's what her problem was. That's why she locked me off. Because I was like, Spirit, why is she locking me off? Like, it is what it is. What's the problem? You know what I mean? She knows that she's calling me evil because her and her people tried to dominate me and take over my energy. She thought she was going to bitch me because she thought she was big vulture because, as the teacher, she's the teacher, innit? Do you know what I mean? And all these years that I've known her since 2018, she's about herself in terms of talking, because really if she was about me, she would have known about me, innit? But she didn't. And even though I've been going to her face to face once a month from June, yeah, all the way till October, she still didn't know me. So when she's taking me to Peru and she's on one of her little fuckery things where she takes people there so that these people can absorb their energy, because that's what's going on in the place, what I'm witnessing. So that's my truth, because I've seen that with my own eyes. And she's the one that's getting fed off too. So whether she knows it or she don't know it, there's things going on. She's mad because she didn't get to fulfill her mission. That's what I thought her problem was. I thought she was mad because she didn't get to fulfill her mission. But what the ancestors were showing me the other day is that it wasn't that she didn't. It wasn't just that. That can be one aspect of it, but that's not the only aspect of it. Another aspect of it is that my girl Ra didn't. My girl Ra felt what it felt to be seen. Because remember, she stands in a position in the spiritual community, in the esoteric community, she stands at a high point. There's a lot of people that have gone through her shamanic course. There's a lot of people that know her, You know what I mean? She's been at it for 12 years. So she's reached a pinnacle. And she's always felt of herself on that pinnacle. You know what I mean? And then you got mans like Jim who owned the ayahuasca retreat, telling you how wonderful Stacey. She's one of the highest shamans that he's ever worked with. That time he's got a 4th generation shaman that lives on his little plot. It's not little, but whatever, on his retreat. Yeah. So you've got a 4th generation shaman, so you know shamans, and you're gonna testify. And I got him on video saying it, that my girl's a gangster. So that's where she's always thought she was. And then there's me that's come along and in front of her people, if you like, because obviously these people she's been going to for like 6-7 years, and it at Jim's place. Jim and his wife consider her family. He says to me out of his own mouth, I don't even charge Stacey. She can stay at any time, listen, she don't even have to call to say that she's coming. Stacey's family. So she's been held to a high regard, and then there I've come into her arena and just literally just shown her things that she ain't even comprehended. She don't even understand that level of power. She don't even understand that level of intellect. Me and Jim are talking, and he's an intellect and I'm an intellect, and she can't join the conversation. Spiritually, she can't join the conversation. Emotionally, she can't join the like she's feeling locked out. And then you got other students coming to her and say, how comes you're going through that? I thought you was a shaman. How comes you're still going through healing? I was surprised to see that. Oh, you know, everybody's still going through their healing. But no, I was surprised to, even when I was in the bed next to her when she was chucking up her demons and chucking up her guts and everything. And my ancestors were like, get away from her, get away from her. My sisters were like, move from my blood clot. Can't you see what's going on? I was like, nah. There's nowhere to go. I got a man on that side of the bed and I got her on this side of the bed. But I was tapping and it was clicking and getting rid of the energy, because honestly, some things were coming out of her, but I could see them in her anyway. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I look into people, I don't always chat. I don't always tell people what I see, because it's not every time spirit is giving me a message for them. Sometimes it is. The E is the E, remember? See, I'm blood clot blind. Talk and bumble clot dead sometimes. So it's not everybody you make know everything. But you watch at the same time. So I'm seeing all these things going on with her in the bed next to me. Colors, shapes, entities. Oh, God. You know what I mean? Next level stuff, basically. And this is the teacher, and this is the one responsible for bringing how many people. She's the spiritual worker, and she's full of spirits. She's full of entities herself. When you touch people and you work with people, you pick up what's going on with them. But that's why they use her, so that they can jump out of her into, listen, if you know what's going on, you know what's going on. So obviously I've been sent into that mission, haven't I? To infiltrate, to make them know, no, this bullshit stops now. So I've gone into the ayahuasca ceremony, and I'm being taken through my own ceremony. But while I'm being taken through my own ceremony with the ancestors, the other ancestors are dealing with these people. So now they're telling me that I'm rude and disrespectful because I'm taking over the ceremonies. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But I'm taking over the ceremonies. I'm evil. What powers are you using? Blah, blah, blah. How dare you? How dare you? I've got videos on this, confused as fuck. But now I'm getting to understand. Because it comes dimensionally and different epiphanies happen. These people have been going on with themselves. You're dismantling a cult far bigger than you could imagine. These people have been taking people and drawing energy, doing all kinds of healing things, and these people are not healed. How can you call yourself a healer when you're not healed? When she was in that bed, my ancestors were saying they were calling her a bitch. They were saying she's disgusting. They just kept shouting, murderer, murderer. I know she's a murderer. One of the first things she did when we joined the course is to tell us that she was a murderer, that she had killed another human being in this lifetime. And she carries that guilt, and she works, and she's healed through it. But she hasn't healed through it, because you can see it on her. Well, not you, but when you can see, I can see. So my aunties have been talking to me for months. So when they're shouting out murder next to the bed, it's not a surprise to me. It's just a surprise why they're saying it with the energy that they're saying it. You understand me? And they're making me know they're saying it because she hasn't healed from it. So they was throwing it at her to heal it. So why she's vomiting, the reason why she's vomiting is because so much energy is... When I say this woman is vomiting, like everybody afterwards was talking about the way this woman was vomiting in the ceremony. Everybody heard it. And the place is a big condo thing. And it was like, bloody hell, you really released some stuff last night, innit? You know what I mean? Because it was tons. And my ancestors did that for her. And after they was throwing their words, I felt the energy shift. Like to say, yo, yeah, man, get rid of that, man. Get rid of that. And when she finished vomiting now, it was my turn to bring up something to blood clot. And I'm like, blood clot, you get what I'm saying? Because it's coming up and I can feel it coming up in my gut. And my ancestors were like, listen, you are a queen. There ain't none of that. It was like an exorcism. That's how I can describe it. It was like Witches of Eastwick. When the three witches and the woman... Them witches are eating cherries and this woman is barfing cherries. And it's disgusting. It's a full-on projection. That's how my girl's going on in the bed next to me. And my sister's like, no, we're going to show you what to do. You understand me? And I just released myself and allowed my ancestors. And I felt them pull up whatever this fucking blockage was. Whatever this fucking... You understand where I'm coming from? Because it's a wham thing going on with this woman. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's going on in the astral world, it's popping up, and I'm feeling it here in the physical world. So they're driving it up. Next, you know, I just went. Do you get what I'm saying? Just some little, hardly any sound. You know what I'm saying? And you know why it's true? Because the same shaman teacher said, I heard you vomiting and you hardly made a sound when you was doing it. And I turned around to her and I said, I know. My ancestors said, don't you fucking dare. They said, don't you fucking dare. You're a lady. Act like a lady. And I did it. After I said it, I thought to myself, oh my God, did that sound really terrible? Because obviously she really went for it, and it weren't her fault. It's going to do what it does. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely wasn't coming from a place of blame. But the way I said it was like, no, the way you and I was disgusting. I'm sorry, I'm a lady. Do you know what I mean? But I went throwing my words at her. I was literally telling her what my ancestors said to me and how they had treated me and made me know. Even if I wanted to go on big and bad like that, because you vomit on ayahuasca, you know what I mean? It's expected as part of the plant medicine. Yeah. My ancestors was like, no, you're not going on like that. And I didn't. I allowed them to do it, and it released itself in the most beautiful way. I've never vomited so elegantly. And it was very elegantly, because like I said, she commented on it. But she brought out some things out of her. And like I said, she locked me off as soon as we got back from Peru. And Spirit says to me, like I said, it's because she felt seen. You saw her. Everything you said about her life, everything you was able to tell her, everything that you saw, blah, de, blah, de, blah. She knows you're right. She knows you're the real deal. And she's absolutely terrified. And you know why she's terrified? Because she thought she was it. She thought she was chaos. She thought she was the mother. The people on the course and all the courses that she's done over the years, she's like, oh, they call me mom. It weren't me that told them to call me mom. They just call me mother. Because I'm mama shaman, or mama shama mama, or something like that, or mama shama, whatever. You know, so all these things that she had believed herself to be, she witnessed that I was in fact that, and she wasn't. And that is a hard reality. That is a deadly reality, especially if you have built your foundation on an awareness, on an identity. And then somebody comes in and you see that identity in somebody else. And not only do you see that embodiment in somebody else, that the way that person is embodying it is far more superior than you are embodying it. And not only do you know that now because you see it, but it's actually being witnessed by the people around you that you have led to believe you are the embodiment of that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like the deepness of that situation to be in. The breakdown of that. You couldn't continue to chat to me. There's so many unraveling of onion skin in that, because there's healing that needs to be done that I'm talking to her, you have been fake healing, pretending to heal, when actually you ain't even started the healing journey yet. I've been seeing this woman not with her man. I didn't even know she wasn't married to him. I didn't even know that she didn't own her house. That she's like, there's so much that gets portrayed outwards, but on this course, it lots of things come out. Lots of things come out because Spirit wanted them to. Or everything come out because Spirit wanted to. But some things come out because Spirit was telling me. But lots came out from her own mouth. So this is information she's sharing. And it's authentic, and that's beautiful. I don't think I should own property because, one, it's a sin to step into like interest, all that fucking bullshit. The debt thing is sinful. So unless you can buy cash, or just bill it yourself. To be fair, whatever. But yeah, all of that nonsense, and also just being pinned down to one place. Yeah, not me. There's a transformation, but the point is, she's sharing a lot of her stuff. But by the end of it, I knew more about her than, I think, some of the stuff than she even knew about herself. And it caused a complete shutdown. And you know what the crazy thing is? Is that in July of last year, I went to Istanbul. Like I said, I had surgery. Come back. And then on the 10th of July, like I said, the 10th and the 11th for me are 10-10, man. And I did a video, and on that video, she come up. And my ancestors was already telling me that she's not my teacher. I'm the teacher, and I'm coming in to show her something. And I'm also coming in to show her that I am the mother. I am the mother. That's who the Almighty says I am. The mother. Yeah? So, on that video, months before, because that was July 2025, and the video is up live, and you can see the date that I posted it. And I've told her I've done a video, but when I tried to send her the video was too long to send as an email, and wouldn't send through as a WhatsApp. I would have to pull it on a web, whatever, and that was long. So I've just left it on YouTube. But that whole video was telling her about who the fuck I am. So if she had a chance to watch it, she probably would have been a little bit more informed. But that wasn't how it was supposed to go. But that's why I say that it's not a surprise to me, because I already know what I want. And I tell you what, when I say it's not a surprise to me, don't get me wrong, I'm still childlike. So I love the fact that things are a surprise to me. You know what I mean? I do. And but it's not a surprise to me because I already did know. But sometimes the way that it comes in can be pleasantly surprising. Pleasantly surprising. It's better than I thought it was. Surprising, But yeah, I knew what the situation was with my girl. And that's what it was going to be about. And that's what it was, for her to recognize that, you act as if you're the mother. And when I say that, there's so much things about the cult. Like, we have conversations about her talking to Lucifer, and I will say that I've spoken to the devil. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem with evil. You know what I mean? With one of the same coins in it. Like, it's not a problem. I got an evil side too. I'm aware of my evil side. I embrace my evil side. You know what I mean? But with my will, I have a choice, so I choose to do this. You know what I mean? But if the Almighty sends me in on a mission, the people that I'm doing the mission against will see me as wicked and evil, in it. Perspective. But I'm jumping. Yeah. So get so much random downloads then, bloody hell. I was gonna share some of the random downloads that I just got with you. Like one was about curries. That's the IT shop that I went to. Just random things, visions of things coming in my head then. But going back to what I was saying, is that with doing the video and knowing Wagwan already, it didn't come as no surprise. You know, what came as a surprise was her reaction to it, because that's what I didn't foresee. Because she would have to choose her reaction in that moment. In the moments in Peru. So for example, when I was in the hospital and we was all in the same room together, she jumped up and said, "Well, I think our relationship ends here." And then this is when Jim left the room. And then Jim came back in the room and was like, "You know what, Asherah, you're absolutely right. I'm in the wrong. And I do trust my wife 100%. And my wife loves you. So you know what? Yeah, I'm in the wrong. Because remember, he's called me evil, you know. And now he's coming back to say he's wrong, because how can I be evil and your wife does nothing but love upon me? And you tell me that your wife is spiritual and she knows more than you and you trust her judgment. But yet you're telling me I'm evil, but your wife that you're sleeping with every single night can't get enough of me." I said, what's that about? And he's looked at me and he's walked out the room. And when he's walked out the room, the shamanic ones jumped up. "Oh, well, I think our relationship ends here then." And she's just locked off, just like that. I said, I can't even remember what I says to her, you know. But I said, "So wait there. So basically you've just decided that you're gonna lock me off because you think I'm evil and you haven't given no reason as to why I'm evil." Let's see, you know, Jim's come back in the room and go, "You know what, Asherah, I apologize. You're absolutely right. I watch how my wife is with you and my wife absolutely loves you. My wife has told me off for talking to you too rough. So I know how my wife feels about you and she is right. So I am wrong. I am wrong for calling you evil." So when the shamanic teachers heard him say that, she's now done a 360 or a 180. "Oh no, you know what? I think we should have a conversation. I think we should have a conversation when we get back." She don't want to lock off the conversation. She don't want to lock off the relationship no more. She wants to have a conversation. But like I said, it's because of how threatened she was. And I feel like I have a more compassionate perspective of it. Whereas before I was just like, "Yeah, I get it. She locked me off. I get it. Yeah." She was up in her feelings and she locked me off. Yeah, cool. So it's not like I had a problem with it. I didn't. But the last couple readings and whatever, it's given me more compassion, because it's more than that. Yeah, it's like I've been able to tap into her emotional frequency to feel how that particular side of her feels, and coming to terms with that. But there's enough stuff I could have told her. I could have told her what's life after. I could have told her she's gonna go well deep in with that girl who's doing all those dominatrix sex things. Do you understand? She wants to bring the shamanic stuff into the swinging world. Yeah. So she's talking to us in the group about it. And she's like, and then when we're not in the group and me and her talk, well, you know, actually I can talk to you, but you know, certain things I can't say to them guys. So with them in the group, she talks about it indirectly, but with me, she talks about it directly. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, we were on a level, you know. We were talking. She was talking, I should say, because she thought we were on a level. You know what I mean? So I can already see her plan, and I don't have a problem with her plan. I know from my own experiences that there is something in the Lilith energy, and the Lilith, Lilith is in the swingers clubs. Lilith's in the dance hall. That's Lilith. Lilith is not Eve. Eve is at home, and Eve is cooking, and Eve is cleaning, and Eve is looking after the children. That's my divine feminine. But my Lilith side of my divine feminine is not in the kitchen cooking. No, she's wilding out. She's in the dance hall. So I understand the energy that she's referring to, because it's the Lilith energy, and Lilith is tired of being shamed. Lilith is tired of being fucking called out. Lilith is like, you know what, fuck you. Because every fucking man dreams and fucking fantasizes about Lilith. They're not sitting down fantasizing about fucking Eve. They just want Eve because mom said she's good. It's one of them ones, isn't it? You have them kind of girls out there, but these kind of girls you marry. That's this patriarchy fucking bullshit that men are constantly programmed with. You have your fun out there with them girls, but really, when you get home, you're bored out your fucking mind. All you're doing is thinking about them girls. So what if your wife in the house could be both? What if she could be both? What if she could satisfy both sides of you? But in order to do that, she would have to get to know that side of her, which is why every woman has to take that journey where they step out of the home and they go and walk their Lilith journey. They turn around to Adam and say, you know what, you're not riding on top of me all the time. God made us equal. So if you can ride me, I can ride you too. And if that's not how it is, later, step out. There comes a time, whether you're a man or a woman, we've all got a feminine side. There's a time when your feminine side just steps into Lilith and they're like, you know what, fuck this blood. Enough is enough. I can do better. I'd rather have fucking nothing than put up with this bullshit. That's your Lilith journey. You're out there in the wilderness fighting against bears and fucking things because you're not even in the Garden of Eden no more. Because that pussy all went on like a blood clot dickhead. So you've left your yard. And this is what I did. I left my yard with my 5 fucking pitney them blood. And as the woman, yeah, could have went on with myself or whatever, but you know what? Almighty was telling me we're going on our Lilith journey, man, come. They made me sit in the house for 2 years with this dickhead going on with himself, trying to make my life a living bloody misery, literally. And I was like, Almighty, and Almighty was like, yeah, ain't time yet, but if you put up with it, trust me, we're going to look after you. You won't have to go into no care home, you won't have to go into no hostel, we'll look after you. Yo, they put me in a big 4-bedroom house in Sutton Coldfield. Here, my man in the divorce proceeding paperwork when we're going through financial proceedings. She's living in one of the most prestige area in our area, and our area is the prestige area, and I'm living in the prestigious part of our area. Just she needs to pay me. That's what his argument is basically, and I've got the 5 pit of them. But the point is, the Almighty puts us through these struggles so that we can face our fears. You know what I mean? And when they say that fortune favours the brave, them are the things about being brave about. When the Almighty sends you on a mission, tells you that you have to do something that you can't believe you're going to have to do, or you're so terrified to do, but you do it anyway. Just like my man in the Bible when the Almighty told him to cut the throat of his own son. And just as he was about to do it, the Almighty said, no bother with it. Or my man who the Almighty allowed the devil to test and take everything away from him. That's what it is. The Almighty took everything away from me. Everything. Everything. Everything and everybody. Everything and everybody I have lost at one point in my time now. Since 2019. And I've literally been on my own. And had to stand on my own, not even my pit of them. And I've had to stand on my own 2 feet with the Almighty. Not play the victim, but get on with it. Get on with it. One foot in front of the other. And even when I was in the mental health institute on the psych ward, unable to do anything on lockdown, 2 to 1, 2 members of staff are with me at all times. Apart from when I'm allowed to go to the bathroom and then they're just knocking on. I'm not allowed to lock the bathroom door. I'm not allowed to lock the bathroom door and they have to stand outside the door and every minute they're knocking on the fucking door. And then when I'm in my bed, the whole night I have to sleep with 2 staff and one's a fucking man and one's a woman. So when I'm saying that I've gone through some fucking shit and I've had to stand 10 toes down by myself, these people are trying to lock me up in mental health services, because they don't want me talking. They want to steal everything, blood. So they have to make it out like I'm mad. So the amount of witchcraft, the amount of entities, the amount of principalities I'm fighting. Yo, 2024 was a mindfuck, blood. It was it all was in the mental. 2023 was court. It was all in documents. It was all in the pen. 2024 went mental, blood. It was all in the 4D realm. 4D and 5D, I'd say. Sent me mad, blood. I could feel myself losing my mind. That's the joke. I was having like a Lucy experience, imagine. I went Lucy. That's the level. Lucy. Took me off the ground, blood. And then I have to fight my way out the madhouse. Hire a solicitor from the madhouse. Get the solicitor to lock off my son. Because my kids are going on with bits, blood. I'm literally by myself. I'm Mama Jack Jones. And I got people literally trying to keep me in there. It's a mad one. But I'm out. I got out. I was always going to get out. Even when after my appeal, I had to appeal. And I lost my appeal. They rejected my appeal. Imagine. This is what I'm trying to say. There's a war going on. I've been rejected to leave the madhouse. And I'm not mad. And they want to keep me in the madhouse. This is what's going on. And I've lost my appeal. I've lost my appeal, Remember I said to you that I've just come out of court. I'm still in court. Sorry, I haven't just come out of court. I'm still in court. And I've been telling you I've been in court from 2019. And from 2020, 2021, I've been having to represent myself. So I know how to write legal documents. And I know law. And what I don't know, I can chat GPT or I can research. So I know my rights. And these people haven't got no rights. I've even dug up the Freedom of Information Act to see that they've got no right to keep me here. But I've lost my appeal. So when I'm telling them, send me the documents from my appeal. Now. We're in 2026 under the Freedom of Information Act. These people still haven't sent me the actual findings and details recorded in that tribunal because they know that tribunal was conducted illegally. But the point is, even when I lost the appeal and I went back in and had to sit down with my consultant and he's telling me that he's got the right now to keep me here for 3 months. I said, yeah. I said, let me tell you something. You see, if the Almighty wants me here for 3 months, I'm here for 3 months. And if the Almighty don't want me here for 3 months, I'm not here for 3 months. So you guess what? Later. And I stepped out of his little office thing and went upstairs to my blood clot room. I was like, you know what, Almighty, if you want me here for 3 months, it's bed and breakfast because I already told them, Pitney, they're going on with their fuckery. I will let the mortgage people take the blood clot yard and stop paying the blood clot mortgage. You want to be in my yard going on with your fuckery? $2024 was next level, blood. Plus the courts had took away my children off me and give them to whoever. If I didn't have the grounding that I have, if I hadn't already surrendered myself over to the Almighty, I'd be nothing right now. I'd be absolutely nothing right now. But because I am not myself, because I do not just walk with self, because I have the Almighty running through me, because I walk with the hand of the divine, yeah, because my ancestors walked 10 toes down, because I do the job and I do the mission, and the Almighty said, as long as you stay on course, the whole belief of a mustard seed, as long as you stay on course, you're good, blood. It's not that difficult anymore. I used to worry about falling off the line because it's a very tight line to walk for the Almighty. You don't get to do what the fuck you want to do when you want to do it. You're on call 24/7. You're on call for the Almighty 24/7. It's not. It becomes so much not about you, and that's fine. I'm more than happy to surrender. I'm more than happy to sacrifice. Because as far as I'm concerned, my life is not my own. My life is not my own. Me, the Almighty. You think the Almighty gave me my life so I could come down here, drink, get my whole fuck out, pay bills, and watch Netflix? But how many people think that that's what it's about? Nah, don't be silly. Obviously, it can't be that. Obviously. So if it ain't that, what is it? What is it that they don't want us to see? Because there's so much glitz and glamour. And that's what I did. Look beyond the veil. Anyway, like I said, the whole court thing. I'm jumping timelines. See, this is what I mean about weird downloads. You see what I just heard? And a Pizza Hut, and a Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Kentucky, and a Pizza Hut. It's almost like passing through radio frequencies when I'm jumping a timeline. I'm not sure where I'm going. It's like I'm waiting to land. But as I'm waiting to land, like what the next thought's coming in, I'm waiting on the next thought. It's like I'm passing through other frequencies and just getting random bits of that thing, that wave that I've just gone through, if that makes sense. Like I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, whatever. I ain't even gonna try and get into it. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat some food. I ordered food and I still haven't eaten it. I you know when because I'm going through an ascension at the moment, innit? Like my energy is shifting, like my mindset is growing. I'm growing out of myself in terms of releasing fear to the point where I just feel like there's an armor filling on me. So regardless of what I have to face, whichever demon I have to go up against, I won't even shimmer. Like there won't even be a little, you know what I mean? I'm just walking in there like this is nothing blood. This is like putting toast in the bread in the toaster. You know when something is effortless, like you don't really have to think about it. Like it's not that deep. Yeah, something that you've done time and time and time again, and you know you're good at it, so you don't need to worry about it. You know, whether that be your job at work or whatever, doing hair, you just know, so you're not really worried. You got a client, but you're not really worried about it. You know what I mean? You'll just get the job done, and it is what it is, isn't it? It's that level. Don't worry about it. Just go in there, and not only are you gonna get the job done, it's the energy of you're gonna be fantastic. You know what I mean? You're gonna be fantastic because even if you went in there and fell over, falling over is fantastic. So it's fantastic regardless. Do you know what I mean? It's that energy. there's a transition going on, and it's a nice one. They're all nice. They're all nice, but it is a nice one. And I love the energy. I love the energy in the air at the moment. I love the vibe. I love the people, the new people that are coming in my life. I done a video a few months ago that I had a download where I seen my celestial family and the celestial around one big table, long out table with bare chairs, and everybody was applauding me. Do you know what I mean? And I was applauding them. And you know what I mean? It was one of them ones, and it was like, nah, it's you, babe. We're coming. And it was letting me know that these celestial beings are being descended down into this realm so that I've got physical family members now. Because I've been doing it a minute by myself. You know what I mean? When I say by myself, as in having a physical hand or not having a physical hand to actually guide me. But everything's been there in spirit. But it looks like I'm alone. From the outside world, it looks like I'm alone because I'm always alone. And unless I'm with my daughter, I'm alone. You know what I mean? So it looks like I'm alone, but I'm not alone. I'm never alone. I'm always laughing and joking because there's always entities of spirit and the Most High and everybody else around me. So I'm never alone. But to the outside world, it looks like that. But that's what's about to switch. Because my outside world is about to look like what my inside world is looking like. Because my inside world is about to become my outside world. Because my inside world has believed in the love of my family and the ancestors and the entities around me that I live in that realm most of the time. I'm in the 5D probably 99% of the time. So because I'm there and I'm living it emotionally, what's in my 5D is being pulled through my 4D and being pulled into my 3D, which is what we call a manifestation. I'm taking my 5D world and I'm bringing it down here in the 3D world. My heaven is coming down on earth because I said so. I will it so. I will it. I will it. I will it. Because the Almighty said, as in heaven, so be, or as is on earth. They're the same. Past, present, future, it's the same. There is no time and space. Every reality is happening at the same time. Past, present, and future is happening at the same time. In fact, there is only the present. But we won't get into that because I'm hungry. All right. So, again, I needed to just get a few things off my chest. I did a bit of journaling tonight too. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. But I'm ready to feel bad too. Whatever, and it is what it is. But yeah. Asherah, I just want to tell you, because you are going to look back on these videos and you are going to watch them, and I really do want you to know that I am really, really proud of you. I know it sounds really simple to say that you put the work in and you do 10-10 and it all sounds like yeah, and a bag of chips or a bag of shit, but I know, because I see ya, we see ya, and I want you to know that you do put the work in. You are who you are, you say you are, and you are who the Almighty said you are. And that's just what it is. So you are right in this shift of knowing that that's who you are, and let's not play the victim, because I do get it. I do get it, and it is true. You put the work in, you're already proven, you don't need to prove nothing else, man. The pick me bitch days are over. The fighting for it is over. The trying to tell people that it's all over, man. It's all over. You have to pay attention to nobody. You don't have to see nobody. Just walk with your head straight until you get to your destination, and that's all it is. Just enjoy the journey, however it comes, and just embrace it and know that the Almighty loves you. So anything He's bringing to you, it's for you. It's for you. So whatever time you get this in the future, just know that I saw you, and you know that I've saw you, because we've had these conversations about certain things. Seeing your higher self on the yacht, and then the other day seeing your higher self somewhere else, and you was like, I was wondering where that bitch was. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but we're seeing what the future looks like, because we can see. So when we get there and you come back and you look at this, you're like, you know what, we already knew that. Because we do. We already know. And it's because we know why we don't need to be afraid. People are afraid of the unknown. You can't know and be afraid, and that's why it's an illusion. We have testimony to prove that the fear is an illusion, so let go of it. It makes no sense, baby girl. Love you to the moon and back. All right, Ash. Speak to you soon. Bye.